So I can't get. I have Master of the House stuck in my head.
Why?
Why? Because I'm just thinking like
Master of the House.
no, like Master of the Vault, Keeper of the Gems. Gonna do some science on some pretty rocks.
Nice.
Welcome to the American Geophysical Union's podcast about the scientists and the methods behind the science. These are the stories you won't read in the manuscript or hear in a lecture. I'm Shane Hanlon.
And I'm Nancy Bompey.
And I'm Lauren LaPuma.
Oh, hi, Lauren. And this is Third Pod from the Sun. This is part 2 of a 2-part interview that Lauren did.
Right. This is part 2 of our interview with Jeff Post, who is the curator of the Gem and Mineral Hall at the Smithsonian's Natural Museum of Natural...
Museum of Natural History.
Museum of Natural
National
History.
Museum
Yeah,
Natural History
it's a
here
Fed thing.
in DC.
All right.
Yes,
So
that
if you
one's
haven't-
always a mouthful.
If you haven't listened to that one, go back and listen to it. It's right before this one. But this one, we're going to be talking about going through the vault. Have you ever? I guess you have, Lauren. But Nancy, have you ever been inside of any sort of a vault before?
Like a bank vault, maybe?
Like a bank vault.
I don't know of the bank.
I was in a place the other day that the bank vault door was in the bathroom because the place used to be an old bank.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, I've been in there. I think there was a bar like in New York where like you
Of course there was.
they
Yes.
turned it into a bar and like you sat in the vault.
Yeah,
That's
well,
really cool.
Having someone who's done it,
Yes.
Lauren, what's it like to walk through a vault?
It's great. So, after we talked to Jeff about, his work as a curator, we were so lucky. He took us back into the vault where this is where they keep all the specimens from the gem and mineral collection that are valuable, but they're not currently on display. And so things get rotated out a lot from the vault area and on display on exhibit. But there's actually 2 parts to this vault. First, when you walk in, there's like a big room, and this is where they keep about 20,000 or so specimens.
It's like the waiting room area for the vault.
And you walk in, and there's just big glass cabinets lining the walls, and a big work table in the middle. And there's just the most beautiful rocks and crystals you have ever seen in your life in this room. It's amazing. It's quiet. It's very serene.
Now I'm disappointed I was gone when you did this. 'Cause
I know,
totally-
I
Oh,
would've
wait,
been
that's
great-
not the main vault part?
Well, there's 2 parts to the vault. That is the main vault, but there's a smaller vault within that vault, and that's where they keep the gems.
Do you have a lock on the vault?
Yeah. Of course. There's like many layers of security.
Oh, and then we have a
yeah.
side stitch.
How big is that vault?
So let's see. That vault is probably the gem vault is probably, I would say, about the size of 2 elevators.
Oh, pretty small.
It's small. It's a small room. Yeah, it was a very tight fit. There were 4 of us inside there, and it was a tight fit. But the main vault is big. It's hard to give the size of a room. I'm not good at like square footage, but probably the size of a classroom. I would say a small.
Okay.
Okay, so it's like a regular room, but the
Right.
other one's like legit vault.
It's a vault. Yes.
Legit
There's
vault.
lots of doors and keypads and things like that.
Okay, so this is our vault area. This is our high security storage area for the mineral collection, and back around the corner is where the gem vault is. And so this is a space that 4 of us have access to. You can see there's cameras here, everything. It's it's a high security area, and we've pulled from our mineral collection about 20,000 specimens that are considered to be higher value, more special, more fragile. Just needing extra security, extra care. It's also our main work area. This table area is where, as new things come into the collection, we typically will unpack them here. They can sit here for a while we go through the accession process. Because it's very limited access, we don't have to worry about people coming in and messing with them, picking them up, things they shouldn't be doing. Because again, a lot of these are valuable, a lot of these are fragile. Most of the specimens in here are in the drawers, but the bigger specimens that don't fit into the drawers are in these cabinets, and they give you kind of an idea of the sorts of minerals that are here in this room. So we try to keep our very best specimens on exhibit for the public to see. But what's back here might be second best or equal to what's out there, or new things that are coming into the collection. But part of our mission here also is preserving some of Earth's great treasures. And when you look at these crystals, the colors, the forms, the reason they're back here is because they have a high market value. There are collectors around the world that will pay large chunks of money to own specimens like these. Each one's one of a kind. It formed naturally in the earth, and in many cases, Their forms, their colors are such, they're just beautiful things. So you got people who are buying these like art. Instead of buying paintings or sculptures, they're buying beautiful mineral specimens and they're displaying them in their homes. It's interesting when they talk about it, they're using the same kind of terminology. It's the same kind of, financial thinking as with artwork, only applied to minerals. And many of the people may not know much about the science behind it, but they just know they're beautiful things. We don't get a lot of people in this room because it's a high security area, but most people, when they see these for the first time, they're kind of going, oh my gosh, these things came out of the earth like this. You're going, whoa. And that's the same reaction that our visitors have when they see them out in the exhibit hall. We've got millions of people a year coming through our galleries, and we're figuring at the end of that, if any small percentage of them, because of this experience with the minerals, are going home and going, wow, I want to either study these things, or at least I'm open to learning more about them, or the next time I see an article about geology or about minerals or about global change, whatever it is, I'm going to read it because suddenly this earth is a whole more interesting place than it used to be.
So Lauren, before you actually did the interview, what were you envisioning that you would see? What were you most looking forward to?
I was really envisioning kind of like a bank vault, I guess. Not that I've ever seen a bank vault, but something very sterile and white and metal. Okay. But it wasn't like that at all. It was
like Mission Impossible.
Yes, that is exactly what I was picturing. But it wasn't at all. It was right. It was very warm with these beautiful wood cabinets and there's this green carpet everywhere.
That I wouldn't expect either.
It was really great. Oh, yeah. And I also should mention I was there with our colleagues Katie Brendel and our former intern Abigail. So you'll hear their voices on this interview as well. But he showed us some really valuable things. He showed us diamonds and gold and other really precious metals and things.
You didn't walk away with any of them?
Nope.
Here, just a couple things that are kind of fun. Here, this is one that I think is kind of neat. Okay, so here, let's go over the table. So feel this. Put that up your cheek.
It's very soft.
And feels what? Warm, cold?
Cold.
Cold, very cold, right?
Yeah. Here.
Okay, that is 266 carats of diamond.
What?
It's probably the biggest chunk of diamond you'll ever. Yeah, it's probably the biggest chunk of diamond you'll ever hold in your hand.
Wait.
So it's a cluster of diamond crystals from the Congo. So, in addition to being the hardest known material, diamond is also the best known conductor of heat. And so it feels cold because when you pick it up, it's sucking heat away from your hand so fast that your hand feels cold. But of course, it also means that it's sucking heat away. It warms up real quickly. So you guys, all your heat is now in this diamond that's kind of warmed up again.
That is crazy.
Yeah. But if you hold it up to light, you'll see, it's actually got some pretty clear areas in there. They could probably have cut stones out of this. Mm-hmm. But because it's such a big cluster of crystals and so unusual, it's worth way more to a collector this way than it would be for any gemstones they could cut out of it. And it's just a really intriguing chunk of diamond, isn't it? Wow. Yeah. And you'll always talk about diamond having a greasy luster. And when you see a big piece like this, you can see it really does have this sort of a greasy look to it, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Like slick.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it just feels good, doesn't it? Wow. What else? One carat diamond, you can't do that, right? There's a chunk of it.
You can hold that in your hand.
So.
Wow, that is so cool.
Yeah, so
it's really cool.
Yeah, again, you never know what you're going to find, right? It's just, and then here, this is just, this you'll recognize. This is one we have because we often have school groups we'll go talk to. But here, so what do you think? What is that?
Gold.
Gold. There you go. Now pick it up.
Oh my gosh.
And every time.
Whoa, yeah, it's way heavier.
Even though I know gold is dense, right? It is.
Yeah.
Every time I pick it up, it still surprises me because we're just not used to holding something that size that's that heavy. And that's a nugget from Australia. It's about 12 ounces. And it was found by a fellow with a metal detector. And we bought it way back when gold was much lower price than it is now. But we thought, what a great educational specimen because it's the kind of thing you can let a bunch of school kids pass around. Mm-hmm. They can't hurt it. This is a big solid nugget. Yeah. So, as long as they don't whack each other with it or something, it's nothing bad can happen. But most people have never had a chance to hold up big nuggets. So we thought for a bunch of, for educational piece, what a great thing. Plus, we didn't have a good nugget from Australia, so it actually filled a piece in our collection too. Actually, here's something else that's kind of interesting. Okay, so gold is very dense, right? So a piece of gold is very heavy. Okay, do you know what the densest metal is? The densest known metal?
I want to say like lead or mercury.
Close to platinum.
No.
It's actually the same group. It's osmium.
Osmium.
So this is an osmium nugget. Osmium is also one of the rarest metals in the earth. This is an osmium nugget from Australia. It has a little bit of iridium in it, but mostly osmium. And so this is the densest known metal, even more so than gold. So feel this little nugget, how heavy that feels.
Whoa. Yeah.
Isn't that something? I know your
Oh my
brain.
goodness.
Your brain's going, that's just a little thing.
It's like a pebble.
Yeah. And then you're going, whoa, where did that come from?
Wow.
One of the real privileges of working here is that I spend a big part of my day sitting in front of my computer like all of us do, right? I've got all the same administrative things that we all have to do, and it's just part of being in a big organization, part of working for a living these days. Email, forever. But whenever I just sort of can't take that part of the job anymore, I can stand up and walk down the hall. It takes me about 2 or 3 minutes to get here. I can open this room, walk in here, close the door, and you just look at these specimens, and almost every time I'll focus on something, or just something will jump out at me, and it's a specimen. Maybe I've seen it before, but not for a long time. I haven't really focused on it, and suddenly, like, that's the most beautiful thing I've seen, and you just look at it and go, wow, that's just an amazing thing. And then, after you've done that for about 5 minutes, you can walk back to your desk and sit down and keep working on your computer, doing your emails.
All right, so that's vault number 1.
Number 1.
What's literally behind door number 1?
The minerals.
The minerals.
Right.
Were minerals cool?
They are. I mean, you haven't been to the exhibit yet, but when you go, it's just like,
field
seeing
trip.
those big things that they display with like these huge giant crystals that grow and these like.
I guess I've seen it though in other venues.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just because it's not like polished and like pristine.
Right.
Yeah,
They're
so you
not
need to appreciate
cut.
like natural beauty.
No, I know. Like when they cut open the rock and there's like, it's like.
Yes, like have you seen it like an amethyst?
Yeah,
things
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
But things
That's
like
what it looks like.
What was that? I guess that's good
Did that
for an
even- what was
audio
that?
medium, but
yeah. But yeah, so then after that, we walked through there. Jeff took us to the gem vault, which is like this small room, like I said, and that's where they keep the actual cut gemstones and also a lot of jewelry, famous jewelry that has been donated to the collection over time.
So is a gem just a cut stone?
Yes, a gem is just a mineral that has been cut and polished to be
Oh,
displayed.
Look at
Did
that.
you know that?
I'm gonna say no. Yeah, I was gonna say yes. Like I probably would have figured that
Yes.
out, but let's just say no.
But the gem vault was amazing, and so you'll hear Jeff describe to us some of the items they have in there. But there are just like drawers and drawers of sapphires and rubies. Some just by themselves, some set into jewelry. It was amazing.
So this is where we keep the more valuable, the gems, the jewelry pieces that are not on exhibit. We try to keep our most important or best pieces out of the exhibit for the public to see, but we have a collection that is large enough that we can use it for a lot of different things. And so this is our gem reference collection. For example.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
So almost all of our gems have come in as donations over the years. Obviously, any mineral crystal found in the earth could potentially be faceted, be cut into a gemstone. So a gem is simply a mineral crystal that a cutter has polished, shaped and polished, and typically then might get set into a piece of jewelry. So part of what makes gems, I think, sort of fascinating to people is they really bridge this natural history and sort of cultural aspect of gem materials. So you've got something, crystal that formed in nature. There's a whole science story there. But then now cut by a skilled craftsperson and now by some creative artist put into a piece of jewelry and then maybe owned by somebody who's interesting. And the great thing about gems is they don't wear out, they don't change, they aren't diminished with time. And so, they can get passed on from person to person. So they can develop a history. There's associations of people that go. So the story that goes with the gem becomes in many cases as much a part of the value as the gem itself. People want a diamond that was owned by King so-and-so or Queen so-and-so, or if Lady Di wore it, or something. Those become part of the value, part of the story of the gem. And so our collection is really not just a collection of gems, it's a collection of the gems and the stories of the people who gave them. And because our collection, goes back now, well over 100 years, we've accumulated materials from a lot of different craftspeople made over different time periods.
Are these older pieces of jewelry?
Those are those were donated to us.
Oh, wow.
So these probably go back to the late 1800s, maybe early 1900s.
That's so neat.
Wow, that's beautiful.
And more emeralds.
Wow.
So we, not only do we have different jewelry pieces, but emeralds from different localities. Like, for example, this is something we acquired recently. There's a fairly new find of emeralds in the last few years in Ethiopia. And so this is a nice stone that we got from there. Because you never know how long these places are going to produce till they become important or not. But now we have a good example from that locality, and it's one that actually could be exhibited, but also could be used for research. We come from Madagascar, again, a new locality. This is another one from Madagascar, North Carolina. So we have emeralds from a lot of different localities, and that is part of what makes them useful for research. There's Russia. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. That's really interesting.
These are corundum, so sapphires and rubies. So just like beryl, so corundum is the mineral name. If they're blue or other colors, they're called sapphires. If they're red, they're called ruby.
Wait,
So-
really?
Interesting.
I didn't realize that it was just sapphires or ruby.
Yeah. So
Yeah, they're the same mineral.
all the different, So sapphire is a little bit of iron here, but also you might get some manganese, give you different colors, the shades of pinks to blues to oranges for the sapphires. Chromium gives you the red color. It's called ruby.
Wow.
So, here's a,
Oh, wow.
and this is actually a stone we just got recently. This is a ruby from Burma, and it's a star
Oh,
ruby.
wow.
Whoa, why does it do that?
It's got its inclusions of another mineral, a mineral called rutile, or titanium oxide. Those little rutile crystals grew inside of the corundum crystal, and they're little needle-like crystals, and because of the symmetry of the corundum crystal, the rutile crystals are forced to line up in 3 different directions, following the symmetry. And if the stone's cut in the right orientation, then you end up with this star effect, because
so
it's
cool.
the light reflecting off of each of the different sets of rutile needles in there.
Interesting.
That is cool.
Well, so that's one we're hoping to get on exhibit fairly soon too. This is one of the world's better stars from Burma. And it's a nice
Wow.
Burmese ruby.
That's great.
Okay, this is
Yeah.
a tiara that was given to us by Marjorie Merriweather Post. In fact, this is Marjorie Merriweather Post here wearing an emerald necklace that she also gave to us. It's on an exhibit. So this is one that she bought at auction in England, but probably was made, I think, in France, maybe in the middle 1800s or so. The diamonds are all set on these motifs that are on little springs. So that when you wear the tiara, they kind of bounce around and catch the light and shine and shimmer and makes your tiara look all that more exciting.
It does.
So it's, you never know what's going to come in the door. Again, all these have been gifts that have come in. Marjorie Merriweather Post, a lot of her things came in the 1960s. Really is what kicked our collection into sort of a world-renowned collection. The Hope Diamond started it off, but then she made some major gifts. In fact, one of the pieces she gave, it's on exhibit. It's a diamond necklace that's got over 260 carats of diamonds in it. It was a gift by Napoleon to the Empress Marie Louise to celebrate the birth of their son in 1811.
Wow.
And so it's really one of the most important diamond necklaces in the world. It's a beautiful piece. It was when Napoleon went into exile, she took this back to her family, the Habsburg family in Austria, and it was passed down through her family, eventually purchased by Harry Winston, who sold it to Marjorie Merriweather Post. And in 1962, she gave it here to the Smithsonian.
Wow.
And when she gave it to us, she presented it to us in the original box. So this is the original box, the leather box, that held that necklace when Napoleon gave this to Marie Louise, was to celebrate, again, the birth of their son, saying, good job, got a son. But this is her coat of arms, her initials on here.
Oh, wow.
Oh my god, that is beautiful.
So again,
Can we
it's
see
the
the
history.
inside? I know there's nothing in it, but I'm just curious.
But you see the size of the
yeah, yeah.
diamonds. These are
Oh my
10,
goodness.
10,
Oh, you
11,
see the
12 carat
impressions of it.
diamonds. Yeah. And when you think, this necklace was put together before diamonds were found in South Africa. And so there weren't that many big diamonds around. I mean, only very wealthy, powerful people owned diamonds at that time.
So where were they mined then?
They're mined Brazil and India. And mostly, probably end of the India in early Brazil time was when these guys were coming out. And so it took a lot of looking to get that many big diamonds to make a necklace like this at that time. It wasn't until 1865 that diamonds started really coming out of South Africa in a big way. So it makes it even more remarkable. I mean, we've done some studies of diamonds in there, and even by today's standards, many of these are considered to be like the top quality diamonds. Many of them are what they call type 2A diamonds. And these are the diamonds that have virtually no nitrogen impurities in them. And so they're the most pure diamonds that we know of, being found anywhere. So clearly they were looking for the very best diamonds when they wanted to build that necklace for Napoleon. This is a necklace that has 9 blue diamonds in it, and then it's a bunch of other white diamonds. It's a necklace that was created probably back in the early 1900s, and it was a gift to Anne Cullinan from her husband. Thomas Cullinan owned the Cullinan mine, which is the place where the largest diamond ever found came out of Africa. It's over 3,000 carats, a fist-sized diamond. That's the one that, for political reasons, ended up going to the King of England. Okay, it was cut, and the largest stone is in the scepter of the British Crown Jewels.
Oh.
The sovereign scepter, a beautifully jeweled emblem of kingly power, largest of the 4 stars of Africa.
Oh,
So the family story is that Cullinan, when he bought the mine, said to his wife, I'm going to find you a big diamond. But, the big diamond went to the King of England, so he had this necklace made for her as kind of a consolation prize, but with 9 blue diamonds from his mine. And even today, that mine is still the most important source of blue diamonds in the world. And probably almost more than any other gemstone, blue diamonds sell for more per carat at auction. They've become so valuable. So, in a sense, she still got a pretty good deal. So the necklace was passed down then through the family. I think it was a great-granddaughter ultimately sold it, and it was a jeweler in California that bought it and then donated it here to the collection.
Wow.
So you can see, the variety of things that we do here, and why I've been here for over 35 years, and I can't think of 5 minutes in that time where I was ever bored. So every day I come into work thinking, something interesting is going to happen today. So many of the great gems and jewelry pieces in the world are stuck away in safety deposit boxes and in vaults and whatever, because people are afraid to wear them or because they're being held for investment or whatever it is. Once they're here, they now belong to all of us. And what's on exhibit can be seen by anybody, any day, free of charge. Anybody in the world can walk in and see it free of charge. Things back here, through our website, researchers can study them. Nothing is lost now to the public. So, it's kind of, it's a lot of fun when you, for the first time, somebody hands you this, this aquamarine, and you go, all right, forever. This is now, now in the public arena. This is something that we all get to share now. Whereas for the last, 100 years of this history, nobody's seen it. So cool.
So, okay, you were there for a while, like a couple hours in total,
wow, yeah,
right?
about 2 hours.
What was your favorite thing? What's your favorite thing you saw?
Everything was amazing, but I think my favorite thing from the gem vault was Jeff showed us this. It was a smoky quartz or a citrine, so it's like this very translucent mineral, light yellow color, but it was the size of a newborn baby.
What?
Yes, it was cut from. It was this crystal that was found in Brazil, and it weighed 8 pounds.
Oh,
And it was huge.
It
was amazing.
If you
Cut and faceted and
your
everything.
baby was a gem.
I know. That's.
I'm sure all babies are gems in their parents'
Oh,
eyes.
look at that.
How cute. I would not mind a gem baby for sure.
Oh man. All right. That's all from Third Pod from the Sun.
Thanks so much to Lauren for bringing us this story, and to Jeff for sharing his work with us.
The podcast was produced by Lauren and mixed by Kayla Surrey.
We'd love to hear your thoughts. Please rate and review us, and you can find new episodes on your favorite podcasting app or on thirdpodfromthesun.com.
Thanks all, and we'll see you next time.